2.3 million brides get married every year, and an average of 200 million bridesmaids have to deal with the demands that they make, including the expenses that come along with being in the wedding. Just attending a wedding can become costly, especially when those invitations seem to take over your social calendar. So here to help us save money either way is Liz Raisin. She's the author of She's Gone Bridal, a 9-step program for dealing with your bride from hell. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you so much.
I take it you've had some issues going on there.
I've had some experiences with brides, yes.
Oh, you've been a bridesmaid 8 times
Maid
and
of Honor 4.
a Maid of Honor 4.
That's right.
It's a huge honor, but it's also a huge endeavor financially and time-wise. It's commitment.
It's a big commitment. It's a wonderful honor. Of course, when you're asked to be in a wedding, of course you want to say yes and scream up and down. But what comes along with that is a huge commitment from a sanity standpoint and also from a financial standpoint.
It's very true. So what do you do then when you get that call from your friend who says, hey, I'd love for you to be a bridesmaid at my wedding, and you want to, but you know how much it's going to cost in the end?
Absolutely. Well, the first answer is inevitably yes. And then afterwards, you might want to give it some thought. And if you really think it's going to be a huge burden, I think you can oftentimes go to the bride and tell her. So often brides are put in a situation where they're doing it out of more of a sense of obligation than they really want to.
Right.
And so going to her and offering her alternatives, saying, hey, maybe I can recite a poem at the ceremony, or maybe I could be a ring bearer, as opposed to actually being in the ceremony and being a bridesmaid, may oftentimes allay some of her concerns and make things better for you in the end.
Prevent that frustration later on, too.
That's right.
So what happens then, and this happens a lot, when the bridesmaids and the maid of honor are the ones that take over that bridezilla title, and they become a lot more difficult to deal with, and they're putting the demands on the other bridesmaids to spend a lot of money, and it's okay, why are you complaining? How do you handle that?
That's a hard one, because oftentimes it's not necessarily the bridezilla, it's the bridesmaidzilla or the mother of the bridezilla. They can often become just as crazy as the bridezilla herself. And so you really have to remember, it's okay if she goes crazy. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm going to have a great time at this wedding and enjoy myself. If she wants to be that way, let her be that way, but don't let it affect you.
That's fine. I got to keep my sanity. Now let's talk about the wedding guests. How can you save money if you're a wedding guest, and especially if you've gotten quite a few invitations for weddings during the summer months? We're, getting a lot of them.
Absolutely. The first thing I like to think about is 3 little words, DIY. Do it yourself, and that really, really helps. While we'd all love to spend so much time in the salon getting our manis and pedis done and our hair did for the event, it's really important to remember you can do a lot of that stuff at home.
Okay.
So to get ready for a wedding, you don't have to splurge. The other thing I like to think about is to avoid the online wedding registry. It's so tempting to hit send or hit pay on the online wedding registry. It's so easy, but oftentimes when you do that, you're paying for shipping, you're paying for gift wrap, and those expenses can really add up. And so if you can actually buy the gift yourself and hand deliver it, that really means something to the bride, and it'll mean something to your bottom line as well.
Buy the gift yourself and hand deliver it instead. Okay, I got you. All right, there's a lot of money adds up. I'm serious, especially if you're starting to get a lot of those invitations, over summertime.
It definitely
gotta keep our sanity, though. That's the main thing.
The main thing is she's the bride, but you have to remain sane yourself as well.
You want to go bankrupt being in someone's wedding.
Exactly.
Thanks so much, Liz. We appreciate it. And there's a lot more advice in Liz's book. It's called She's Gone Bridal, a 9-step program for dealing with your bride from hell.